Hey there, Benjamin Harvey here, Australia's only two-time BRW award-winning coach. And today what I wanted to share with you is something that I've gleaned over the years of coaching. I've been doing this now for 11 and a half years, and I've been blessed to be part of this industry. And one thing that I get all of the time from clients is that they want to be successful. They want to be successful. I mean, it makes sense, right? You and I want to be successful. We all want to be successful. One thing that surprises me though is when I ask the client, so tell me, what does success mean to you? They almost can never answer the question. Now, this is an interesting thing, right? Because if I said, all right, I want you to go ahead and plug in some coordinates into your GPS for me. And you say, all right, where are we going? And I say, I don't know, but plug it in. Plug in the coordinates. And you say, well, Ben, like, where are we going? And I say, well, I don't know, but just plug it in and let's start driving. You would have to think that there's something wrong with me. You have to think, Ben, what are you doing? How can we plug in coordinates to a GPS if you don't even know where we're going? And then straight away you want to start driving. See, what we know is this. There are people out there that are trying to get to a destination called success, and they don't even know where it is. They don't know what it looks like. They don't know what it feels like. Now, this may not seem like a big thing, but it is a big thing. If people are striving to achieve a goal, but they don't know the meaning of that goal, it dramatically affects the behaviors, the actions they take in the here and now. See, what I did a long time ago when I first got into coaching, when I made the career choice to actually leave my job in recruitment, I'd been working in recruitment for about 4.5 years for a company called Adecco. Adecco is one of the largest recruitment agencies in the world. And I worked for a division of that specialized in IT recruitment, known as Icon Recruitment. And I was doing IT recruitment for a number of years, and I wasn't really fulfilled at all. In fact, I was pretty unfulfilled. I was successful at what I did, of course. I was achieving great results from from externally. Everyone who would look at what I was doing would say, yeah, you're doing great. You're doing great numbers. You're placing a lot of people. You're getting great successes. But to me, I just didn't feel successful. I mean, I didn't feel successful. And so even though it looked like I was successful, I don't know if you've ever had that experience where you're successful at something, but you don't feel it. Well, I was in that position. And so I went along to a personal development event. And at that event, they asked me to define what success means to me. And I thought, geez, no one's ever asked me to do that. No one's ever asked me to sort of take the time out to actually work out what does success mean to me. And I started to write out what success means to me. And the very first thing, and I know it sounds a bit kind of corny, but the very first thing was to do something that my mum would be proud of. The first thing that would mean success to me is to be able to do an activity that my mum would be proud that I was doing. That meant success to me. And I never realized that before, but that was a core driver for me. Second to that is, as I was writing out what success would mean to me and how I would know that I was having success, and this was right at the beginning of my journey into coaching, I worked out that success would be having handwritten cards from clients. So I felt that being successful, I would know I was successful because I would have handwritten cards from people who I'd worked with, people's lives that I had changed. Or let's face it, they do all the change themselves. You just get to assist them and guide them along the way. But handwritten cards from clients would signify that I had had such a meaningful impact in their life that they would take the time out of their life to handwrite me a card. And so that was really what it was for me. And I imagined to have a drawer in my home office, one of those deep, big filing cabinet kind of drawers, full of handwritten cards from clients. I imagined that was the pinnacle of success for me. And so being driven by wanting to feel that I was doing something that my mum would be proud of and that I would have a drawer full of handwritten cards, I finally knew what success was. Because up until that point in my life, success had a dollar sign in front of it. It was a figure, a number. And I'd been chasing this dollar sign for most of my life, ending up in debt the whole time. In fact, I had been in debt from about 14 years of age. Now, here's the thing. Anyone who chases money, what I know for certain is they almost never catch it, right? That's the thing. In fact, it was Richard Branson that said, if you get into something just for the money, you're better off doing nothing at all. And I didn't realize, because I had been programmed by society, by the kind of people I was hanging around with, that success was all about wealth. It was all about a financial figure. But that's just not who I am. I'm not driven by a number. No, don't get me wrong. I mean, I love being spoiled. in this industry. You know, I love earning an incredible income, having an uncapped earning potential. I love traveling the world. I love the lifestyle that I have, of course, that I'm fortunate to have because of the coaching industry. So don't get me wrong, you do earn an incredible income doing this. Of course you do. But for me, that wasn't the definition of success. And so when I focused on, these handwritten cards, I started to really fall in love with the craft and fall in love with what was meaningful to me. And within about 2.5 to 3 years, I remember coming home one day, walking into my home office and pulling open the drawer and putting another card in that drawer and realizing that that drawer was in fact now full of cards. And it hit me that I was successful. I was successful. The first time in my life I felt successful. Why? Because coaching is something that my mum is proud of me doing. Now don't get me wrong, my mum has been proud of me my whole life. Since the day I was born, she has been completely proud of me and my brother and my sister. Of course she's proud of all of us, right? But for me, it doesn't matter how she feels, it was how I perceived it. I still felt all my life I was not doing something that was driven by meaning, that was driven by really being an inspiration to the world, really creating change out there, good change out there. And so when I dropped that card in that drawer about 2.5 to 3 years into coaching, it just hit me. And I had this it's like those goosebumps that run through your body. It's like this little thing at the top of my head just clicked and I just got this shiver all the way through my system. And I realized that I was successful. For the first time in my life, I was successful. So I guess what I want to, this video is me just having a bit of a share, a bit of a rant really. And I couldn't wish for anything more enough than for you to really just define what success is for you. Take some time today, this afternoon, to just write down what does success mean to you. Start a piece of paper and just write the meaning of success to me is, and just let it all flow. Get it really clear inside your mind. And for me, it was just 2 things: doing something that made my mum proud, or that my mum would be proud of. And the second one was getting handwritten cards from people whose lives I had changed. Now, I don't know what it is for you, but once you define it and you get it clear, try and get it down into 1 sentence and then put that sentence down below. Comment down below what success means to you. And please, if you enjoyed this video, share it with your friends, because your friends could absolutely benefit from knowing what their definition of success is. Because I would hate for you to be chasing something and not know what you're chasing. So again, please define your success. You'll find out that it makes it a lot easier. Once you punch in the coordinates into that GPS and you know exactly where you're going, the entire journey becomes a breeze. So I hope this has been valuable to you, and I hope it made sense for me. When I defined my success, it changed everything for me. Anyway, until we meet again, share your light, live your love, and do whatever it takes to be your own best friend. I'll see you soon.